You know what your biggest problem is? It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're stupid. It's not that you're unlucky. It's that you're too nice. And that niceness is slowly destroying your future. Before I tell you why, welcome to Think Rich Darkly, the only place on the internet that tells you the truth about money and power that everyone else is too scared to say. If you're new here, you're going to want to stay till the end of this video, because what I'm about to show you changed everything for me, and it will for you too. Let's go. Meet James. James was the best guy in the room, always. Someone needed money, James gave it. Someone needed help, James was there. Someone needed a favor at midnight, James picked up the phone. He never said no, not once, not ever, and everyone loved him for it. They called him Man. They called him the most genuine guy. They said, James is one of a kind. But here's what nobody called him. Nobody called him successful. Nobody called him powerful. Nobody called him the boss. Keep that in your head, because we're coming back to it. 3 years. James worked for 3 years straight. Late nights, skipped weekends, missed his kid's birthday once, told his wife, just a little more work left. He believed something. He truly believed it. If I just keep giving, keep working, keep being good, the reward will come. And then one day, the promotion was announced. He straightened his tie, took a deep breath. He was ready. The name they called out and was not his. It was Tyler. Tyler, who joined 4 years after James, who left at 5 p.m. every single day, who used to ask James to finish his work. James walked into the boss's office. He asked one simple question. Why? The boss leaned back. He said, James, you're a great guy, but Tyler has leadership. James didn't say anything. He just nodded, smiled, and walked out. Drove home in silence, sat in the dark, and for the first time in his life, asked himself one question. Is being good my mistake? Stop. I need you to do something right now. Don't scroll, don't skip, because what I'm about to say next is the part that most people never hear. This is not just James's story. This is your story. Maybe not the promotion, but the feeling? You know this feeling. The feeling of always giving and never receiving. Always saying yes. When everything inside you is screaming, no. Always being available. And somehow, still feeling completely invisible. You know what the world calls people like that? So genuine. Such a nice guy. He'd give you the shirt off his back. Beautiful words. But behind those words hides a very ugly truth. The world doesn't respect nice people. The world uses them. And here's the thing nobody tells you. There's actually a scientific reason why you became this way. A psychological reason. And once you understand it, you'll never see yourself the same again. But first, think about the last time someone said no to you. What did you do? You accepted it. You smiled. You said, it's okay, no worries. Now think about the last time you wanted to say no. What happened? You stopped yourself. You thought, they'll feel bad. The relationship will break. What will people think? That gap right there. That silence between what you feel and what you say. That gap is costing you money. Real money. Right now. There's a term in psychology. It's called the fawn response. When a person, under pressure or fear, starts pleasing everyone around them, always agreeing, always apologizing, always making sure everyone else is comfortable. even when they're not. This isn't weakness. This is a trauma response. Somewhere, at some point in your life, you learned that saying no is dangerous, so you stopped saying it. And it felt like kindness, but it was survival. And you've been surviving ever since, when you should have been living. Now here's where it gets dark. Really dark. Because this doesn't just live in your emotions. It lives in your money. It lives in your career. It lives in your business. Why did you discount your work? He's a buddy. I'll cut him a deal. Why didn't you ask for overtime pay? My boss might get upset. Why didn't you share your idea in the meeting? Everyone will laugh. Every single time. You lowered your own value with your own hands. And then you wonder why no one takes you seriously. Here's the brutal truth. There are two kinds of people in this world. The first kind defines their own value. They know their time is worth something. They know their work is worth something. They know their opinion is worth something. The second kind lets other people define their value for them. And the second kind, no matter how hard they work, no matter how honest they are, no matter how many late nights they put in, will always be below someone else. Always. Which one are you? Be honest. James sat by the window that night. He didn't sleep. He just stared outside. And then something his father once told him came back to him. His father said, "Son, the world listens to the man who doesn't talk much. But when he speaks straight." James always thought that meant stay quiet. But that night, for the first time, he understood what it really meant. It meant, know the weight of your own words, know your worth, and never apologize for it. By the way, if this is hitting you right now, if you're feeling something in your chest, that's not an accident. That's recognition. Hit that like button right now. Not for me. For every version of yourself that stayed quiet when it shouldn't have. Okay, let's keep going. Being a good person is not wrong. Let me be very clear. But hiding behind goodness while losing your value, that is the most expensive mistake a human being can make. The more available you are, the more optional you become. The more you say yes to everything, the less your yes actually means. The more you give without boundaries, the more people take without guilt. Now let's talk about money. Directly. No filters. Most people who struggle financially, it's not because they don't know how to work. It's because they don't know how to charge. Ask them their rate. They say, whatever you think is fair. They give their service for free first, then quietly ask later. Should I have charged for that? That is not generosity. That is self-abandonment. And you cannot, I repeat, you cannot build wealth on self-abandonment. It is mathematically impossible. Power doesn't go to the hardest worker in the room. Power goes to the person with the clearest boundaries. The person who says, I won't do that, seems intimidating, seems dangerous, and the world respects dangerous people, whether it wants to or not. The person who says, yes, sure, I'll handle it, seems useful, seems convenient, and convenient people don't get promoted. They get used. And the most important thing, the thing nobody, and I mean nobody, tells you, no is a complete sentence. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to apologize for it. The day you learn to say no without guilt, your life changes. Your money changes. Your relationships change. Because people only take what you allow them to take. James went back to work the next day. He walked into his boss's office, and for the first time, He didn't shrink. He didn't over-explain. He didn't apologize for taking up space. He made his case, clearly, calmly, without begging. The boss said, "James, this is a different side of you." James said, "Yeah, the old side was holding me back." 6 months later, James got the position. Not because he became ruthless, not because he became cold, but because he finally started taking himself seriously. And when you take yourself seriously, the world has no choice but to follow. So let me ask you one final question. And I want you to actually sit with this. When was the last time you chose yourself? Not over others, just alongside others. When was the last time you said no and didn't feel guilty about it? When was the last time you charged what you were worth? When was the last time you walked into a room and believed you belonged there? If you can't remember, that's your answer. That's the work. Not a new skill, not a new degree, not a new job. The work is this: learning that you are allowed to have limits. Learning that kindness without self-respect is just slow self-destruction. Learning that the world will treat you exactly how you teach it to. You can be good and strong. You can be kind and have boundaries. You can be humble and still know your worth. These are not opposites. The world just made you believe they were. Start small. Say your next no without an apology. Just once. See what happens. Because everything begins there, right there, in that one word that you were always afraid to say. The world charges full price for what it gives you. It's time you did the same. If this video hits something real inside you, drop one word in the comments right now. Just one word. James, if you've ever been him, if you're still him right now, and if you want more truths like this, the kind the world is too comfortable to say out loud, subscribe to Think Rich Darkly. We don't do motivation here. We don't do surface level. We go into the dark places, where the real answers live. Every single week, new video, new truth. See you in the next one. Think Rich Darkly. Because the truth doesn't always feel good, but it will set you free.